This video is sponsored on behalf of Prime Matter, the publisher of Crossfire Legion. Please consider clicking the link in the description or the top comment of the video, which will take you to the Steam page for the game. Hello everybody and welcome to Crossfire Legion, a brand new RTS that is just released into early access from publisher Prime Matter and developer Blackbird Interactive, who you may know as the creators of Homeworld Deserts of Karak and the upcoming Homeworld 3. Now before I get into the mechanics of the game a little bit more deeply, I first want to just summarize what you can actually expect from the game. Crossfire Legion is a fast-paced, competitive RTS set in the Crossfire universe, a war-torn near future where the terrorist organization Blacklist battles against the counter-terrorist force Global Risk. The game features a single-player campaign that alternates between perspectives of Blacklist and Global Risk, but also introduces the brand new faction to the lore of Crossfire, New Horizon, a global syndicate of corporations intent on uplifting humanity through the use of integrated AI. On the multiplayer side of things, you have 3 different game modes which can be tailored and customized across different maps, player numbers, teams, and so on. Standard Versus is one of the modes. It's a sort of domination mode. Payload is an objective-based escort mission, and cooperative mode is for stomping on the AI with your friends. The game also features an auto-match ranked mode, where you can search 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3 games, and you'll be given a 10 rank MMR rating to place you amongst similar skilled players. So, let's take a look at a typical game in Crossfire Legion, but before we jump into the game proper, you're going to want to first assign the units you're going to take with you into battle and build your sort of deck or loadout. Now, each faction has 15 unique units to choose from, bringing the total to 45 at early access launch, with more planned to be added later. Your loadout has to have 2 infantry units, a light and a heavy, 3 vehicle units, a light, medium, and a heavy, and 2 air units, a light and a heavy. So, mixing and matching these units that work well together is encouraged, and of course, with allies you can then further diversify your abilities or support each other. You can also choose a commander, which has 2 unique abilities for use during battles that we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, these units and commanders are earned by completing operations, which are basically like missions or milestones that refresh every couple of days. You then visit the store and unlock the units you want to bring with you. Now, units are unlocked permanently for those wondering. So now that we've got our loadout sorted, let's take a look at the Standard Versus mode first. This mode is effectively based on territory control. We have various resource deposits dotted around the map, and we're going to want to control them, especially since in this mode, resources are finite. In our base, we start with some workers, which are used to gather the 2 main resources, metal and fuel, as well as repair and build structures. We've also got our population limit on the top of the screen, which will want to build logistics hubs, or the equivalent, depending on your faction, to increase. Then we've also got a barracks, factory, and hangar to make infantry, vehicles, and air units, as well as an armory to give everyone upgrades. Now, after building another resource depot in the south, I started setting up some defenses right as I was getting attacked. So, not all of them got fully built, but it was a good effort nonetheless. Now, I started redirecting the troops I had down towards that area, and once the units got there, the enemy called down a commander ability on me called Fire at Will, which causes an area of effect barrage from off the map. Now, commander abilities are called in based on the resource bar on the bottom left, and in different game modes, you earn that currency for that bar at a different rate. In this mode, for instance, you actually never earn it at all, but you start with a full bar, so you gotta pick and choose your moments very carefully throughout the game of when you can call in these abilities. After a little bit of a back and forth, I started to get pushed back in the south, so then I called the same ability that they called on me to great effect, pretty much deleting their entire force down there. After building up my economy and keeping constant pressure on them with a stream of units just flooding up to the middle of the map, I was able to push the enemy back completely and destroy their numerous bases and get the victory. Now, despite the fast-paced nature of combat, the match did last about 30 minutes of both sides just exhausting resources and working through the various upgrades.
Discipline brings victory.
Right, so, after that victory I completed some operations, earned some currency, and then I chose to unlock the Scepter for Global Risk, which acts as a transport vehicle that can also heal infantry units when it lands. This seemed like a pretty good choice to take in the payload game mode, because the objective is out in the world and it actually frequently moves around. So unlike the standard versus mode, resources are actually infinite in this mode, but there's only one place that you can harvest them, so you effectively just have this set income rate once you get the building up and running, and it's up to you to take the right combination of troops and defeat your enemy. Now there's no logistics buildings either, so you don't actually increase your population, at least not in the traditional sense. Instead, you just upgrade your base and that raises your pop cap instead. Your command points also actually replenish in this mode, and it does so based on kills that you deal to the enemy and kills that you receive, so there'll be a numerous back and forth with call-in abilities used throughout the game. And this effectively makes the mode a lot less about the base building and the economy side of things and lets you focus a little bit more on unit counters and abilities. But the main objective of this mode is actually really interesting. On either side of the map there are these 3 target areas, 3 for the allies and 3 for the enemy. A dropship will carry a cargo container into the map, release it, and one of the teams needs to go ahead and break it open. Now whoever opens it gets control of what's inside. What's inside is a vehicle that will drive to one of those enemies' target areas. So you have to escort it and push back the enemy in order to set up the payload. The other team then of course have to play the defender and try to blow up the truck and prevent it reaching their territory and one of those target areas. Successfully deliver 3 payloads to their targets and they fire on the enemy, winning you the game. Alongside the cargo container that's dropped in, there are 2 additional drops that contain powerful abilities. So if you miss the truck, you can rush for those instead. One of them I got was a tactical nuke, which came in very handy.
Rocket tour here. Scepter reporting. No contact. Large enemy formation. North grid area. Marked coordinates for aggressive action.
And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you again to Crossfire Legion for sponsoring this video. Remember, the game is out now in early access on Steam, and clicking the link I've provided in the description and the top comment will take you straight to the Steam page. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.
Victory is mine. We will give no quarter.